Hello, Internet. Boy, are you weird. So if you have happened to be living under a rock and haven't heard the news yet, the notorious cult leader Charles Manson died at the age of 83 on November 19th, 2017. The poor bastard didn't get to enjoy one last Thanksgiving. Sucks to be him, am I right? To much of the world, this news came as a reason to celebrate due to the fact that he and his followers were behind some pretty horrific murders back in the 1960s. Murders that left innocent people such as actress Sharon Tate dead. Talk about a real bastard move. And look at Sharon Tate. She was hot. Wait, is it weird that I say a dead lady is hot? Cause you know, she's like dead and stuff now? I can't get accused of assault for that, can I?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Whew.
Ooh. Whatever. She was pretty and unfortunately died thanks to Charles Manson and the actions of his followers. And no, I don't mean his followers on Twitter either. You see, Charlie was a cult leader who had control over a group of followers known as the Manson family. Following his capture by authorities, the world was captivated by the trial and actions of he and his followers, who all acted rather strangely and freaked people the F out during the trial. Everybody was so interested in him and his case that he even landed on the cover of Life magazine in December of 1969 and has since been a staple of pop culture through the decades. Nothing about his eyes looks like he is crazy in this picture. No, nothing at all. Wink, wink. After seeing all the news articles about Manson dying, I did some research on the man and stumbled upon a pretty strange and oddly fascinating website that I wanted to show you guys. Apparently the man was creating art while in jail, and you can even own some copies of it if that's your thing. It's not all horrible either. Like this piece right here is kinda cool. These two blue balls remind me of, well, let's just say that they remind me of a feeling I'm a bit too familiar with, if you know what I mean.
They grow like this. One lower than the other, and there are always two of them in pairs.
He also seemed to have a weird fascination with stars and crows. I don't know what that's all about, but hey, what can I say? Charlie Manson, am I right? These pieces seem to be what I first imagined when I thought of Charles Manson art, complete with moody, depressing colors and his notorious swastika, which I chose to blur out because it's 2017 and politically correctness is king. And if you thought things couldn't get any more odd, well, you are wrong, my friend. If you happen to have some big money to spend, allow me to show you a world where you can literally own a piece of Charlie himself. Do you have an extra $10,000 laying around the house? Well, if so, you're in luck. You can own this exclusive document with Charles Manson's fingerprints on it. Only $9,800. But don't worry, if you don't have that much extra cash laying around the house, you can have this autographed picture for only $250. There's also a couple of guitar picks that may or may not have belonged to him at some point. I mean, they kind of look exactly like the ones you could buy at Guitar Center, but either way, $300 each. If you really want to own a piece of Charles Manson, you can own this half-smoked cigarette complete with some of his DNA. But wait, don't get your hopes up because somebody actually already bought that for the not crazy price of $300. In fact, a lot of these items have already been sold and are kinda odd, like this signed Polaroid of Charlie and some random prisoner, only $400. For those of you who have a hard time reading and seeing, look no further because we have a pair of Charles Manson's glasses for only $1,200. Yeah, apparently Charlie had glasses, but don't tell that to other killers because it's kinda uncool to be a cult leader with glasses. Remember how I talked about the crazy eyes he had on the cover of Life magazine? Well, look at this. This is Charles Manson when he was a baby. Now try to tell me with a straight face that it isn't obvious this kid would grow up to be effed up in the head. You can just tell that this little bastard was already evil when this picture was taken. Look at those eyes. It can be yours for $300. And just when you thought it was at the peak of odd and strange items, well, somebody paid over $5,000 for a set of his false teeth. Yes, apparently Charles Manson needed false teeth, and somebody paid over $5,000 for some disgusting old man killer cult leader teeth.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all?
But I don't want to shit on all these items because some of them are actually pretty cool. Kind of like these spiders that he made out of string and possibly hair. I gotta say, if these didn't cost an arm and a leg, I may consider buying one of these because they're pretty badass. But speaking of hair, the item that takes the cake of disgusting is this. Yeah, this is a freaking lock of Charles Manson's hair. So if you happen to want to clone Charles Manson to be here for future generations, here is your chance. Only $1,100. That's a bargain. You're in luck because I even found a few items that aren't featured on the website. Like this dollar bill right here that once belonged to Charles Manson. It can be yours if the price is right, $450. Or you can have this half-eaten sandwich signed by Charles Manson himself, only $700. But the crown jewel of the lot is this used piece of toilet paper used by Charles Manson himself, complete with some leftover DNA and corn.
Yummy.
Talk about a find. It can be yours for $6,650.20. So even though Charles Manson may be dead and burning in hell, pieces of him will forever remain on this planet, on the internet, and in our minds. Before I go and end this video, remember one thing. Even men who love strawberries can be capable of horrible things. That's a fact. Damn. The internet really is a weird place. Thank you so very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can catch my next video. I'll catch you beautiful people next time.
People look at you today, 20 years later, and they still have no idea what you're about. Tell me in a sentence who you are.